Hey, happy Halloween. And we're also going to talk about families on Marvel TV Weekly. Where do the current TV families of the Inhumans and the Gifted rank all time? Not very high. You find out, because Marvel TV Weekly starts right now.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Oh, that's right. We are talking about families, and this is the only song that I really felt like I wanted to go with. And it's very funny that we're starting with this song because, as some of you know, Carrie and I do Star Trek Weekly together, and we started last night's show with "Staying Alive" by the Bee Gees. So clearly, there's a theme.
Our throwback music.
Yeah, it's you know, the '70s are in. Clearly, I'm Christian Blatt at Christian DMZ, and to my left.
Hey, how's it going? My name is Carrie Lane. You can find me online at Carrie G Lane. That's Karidlane.
Also known as Rogue.
Yes, that too.
For those that are just listening, you'll just have to take our word for it.
You'll have to follow me online to see the photos.
And back, the prodigal son, Michael Shirley,
Hey
repping the
guys.
one Marvel lady we really didn't talk about last week when we talked about all the ladies. So you want to give some love to Black Widow.
Yes, tip of the hat. To Black
Literal
Widow.
tip of the hat.
Yeah.
And where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Michael X Shirley.
And Jessica Jones.
Yes.
Tell
Erica
everybody
Jones.
where they can find you, Erica Jones.
You can find me on all social media at Erica Jaye Green.
And so it's fun, you know. I mean, we decided to do well. I mean, you guys, first of all, the ladies get A+ for their costumes.
Yeah.
I didn't even know we were dressing up, but
I thought you were gonna send a text
Halloween
message.
episode.
You did watch the episode, so we
Or
did talk about it. But
Halloween,
it's all
like
right.
our episode.
Yeah,
yeah, I
it's
did
all right.
watch your episode. I did.
And maybe
yeah.
we didn't actually say,
I don't know,
hey,
may-
Michael, that's all right. Look, all I did is wear a t-shirt. So it's like, I give myself like a C-. It's like just below average. I at least have a shirt that looks like Spidey's shirt, but it's also short sleeve. So, you know, the
It's
ladies did
Casual
an
Friday version.
excellent job. Yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
This is Spidey, Casual Friday at Avengers Mansion, or whatever they like to call
Just
it. these
short
days.
sleeve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, it gets hot and humid in New
I
York
know,
in the summer.
right?
What
I
else
thought
should
it
he
was a
do?
pajama shirt you're gonna wear, like the pajama outfit.
Oh, I
Spider-Man.
wish I had like
Ooh, a
the zip
onesie.
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
They have it at Target right now. I saw
awesome.
it, but it's a little warm for me. Anyway, so we are going to talk about families, and I thought of talking about that because families is kind of an overarching theme on both of the shows currently on both the Inhumans
Just a
and
little
the
bit.
Gifted. And the idea of family, of course, gave me the line that I wanted to make sure that I got into the top of the show. Hey, back off my dad. And that's
I like that
important
one
for
a
everybody
lot.
to know.
I like
yeah.
to be home for dinner. Though,
That's
too.
also
That was
yeah,
a
but
good
then-
second
But then
place.
when he was home for
Super
dinner,
cheesy.
spoiler alert for tonight's The Gifted, but come on.
He was home for
He was
dinner.
home for dinner, so I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that seemed like the kind of thing you say when you get reapprehended and put back in jail. Anyway, so we'll talk a little bit about all those shows, and we'll talk about some of the biggest and best families in the Marvel Universe. But let's talk about a little news up front that we've gotten. There are going to be some Marvel superheroes at Disneyland Paris starting in 2018. So I think we've fully made the transition from there being Disney characters at Universal Studios not that long ago. In fact, Carrie had a shirt on. Was it last week that you wore the Rogue tie-dye shirt
Yeah,
from
I had
Universal
my,
Studios? Yeah.
From Marvel Mania way back when.
Yeah. And now it's probably all gone. There used to be a Spider-Man ride at Universal Orlando, and now Disney's like, hey, we're not sharing. So they're all going to be there, which I
Isn't
think.
there supposed to be like one day like a Marvel like theme park?
I
and
mean,
they talked about it.
They're
and then,
really
like, pulled
working
back
on
it.
the Star Wars land right now, and like all the American Disney parks, I think.
Well, also Disney over the summer, did the Summer
Yeah.
of Heroes.
Oh,
But
that'd be awesome.
that's not actual attractions. That's just characters.
Like,
I-
you
No,
could
but they
stay
did
in
like
Xavier
performance
Mansion
kind of
and-
stuff too.
Yeah, I mean that. First of all, that's a great idea, Michael. That they should actually convert
They've
one of the
talked about
hotels
doing a theme park
because they're doing like
before.
themed
A separate
hotels for
one?
Star Wars Land. So why not a themed?
Yeah. Marvel
you could
one,
do
why not?
Stark Tower. You definitely do Professor Xavier's mansion.
That's where I'd stay.
That's definitely where I'd stay. And
Oh
then,
yeah, for sure.
yeah. You could do the Baxter Building where the Fantastic Four live. Although most people tend to forget about the Fantastic Four these days. But don't worry, they'll come up in a little
I
bit.
think that's on purpose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's what they're going for because they're desperate to have it back. But and then some fun news for fans of Daredevil. I mean, it's not a shock, But Vincent D'Onofrio will be back in season 3 of Daredevil. No idea when we're going to get that. We've got some season 2s to get to before we get to season 3. But I don't know. He was such a great part of season 1. I was glad that he showed up briefly in season 2. But in terms of TV Marvel villains, for me, it's hard to think of anybody that's better than the Kingpin. Carrie, are you looking forward to getting some more Kingpin in Daredevil season 3?
Yeah, I thought his character was very intriguing because, like, you're kind of like, wait, I'm not really supposed to like you, but I do. Like, this is a good example of a bad guy where you're like, oh, I do like you, but you're bad.
God, yeah, I love
Like,
him.
Like-
you're torn.
Like the way that a lot of people feel about Loki, but maybe not you. Like,
Loki,
people
I'm
love
fine.
Loki.
I think when we get to Inhumans, that's the bad guy. I'm like, nope.
Yeah,
no love
that's
to
the
hate.
bad guy.
That's like, no, I'm done. No, Loki's in between. I don't understand the huge admiration some people have for him of, like, completely fawning over him.
Right.
But I'm like, he's cool.
Bless you.
Oh
you,
my
Gesundheit.
gosh. I'm sorry, you guys.
That was a big one. Right, I think it'll be great. I just like
it'd
the
be
way he was portrayed. You know, you of course run into all the rights issues that we won't get. You know, Kingpin was also a major, and it was originally introduced in the pages of Spider-Man. I love the interaction of Spider-Man as well. But the story that I think that they're hinting at that they're going to tell in season 3 of Daredevil, the Kingpin will factor into it very heavily. So, Michael, you excited for more Kingpin? Or
Yeah, I like him as a Kingpin. I do. I'd really like to see, like, Typhoid Mary come in.
Yeah, that's a great Daredevil
series.
character.
I feel like she would fit really well in that universe because she's, like, dark.
Yeah, and if I guess Anthony in the booth, who you can follow at Tony Be Dead, if you type in Typhoid Mary Marvel or Typhoid Mary Daredevil, you'll get the actual one that we're talking about, not the like 19th century Typhoid Mary. And Erica, you're all caught up on Daredevil, or
Yes, I love that's one of my favorite
So
shows.
you feel? Are you excited for more Kingpin?
Yes, he was like a tortured soul. Every time he did something, it was like anguish in his face, and it hurt me.
That painting.
Yeah, he was like,
Oh my god, that
I'm
painting.
gonna kill somebody.
And the flashbacks to young Wilson Fisk, young Kingpin, they hurt so much to watch. You're like, oh, this is rough. And yes,
crazy.
Anthony in the booth is showing us Typhoid Mary.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I think she
That's
could
some-
totally.
That's
Cool.
some
Yes.
John Romita Jr. artwork from sort of like the 250s-ish of Daredevil. That's a great character. I actually hadn't thought about her in a long time, and I agree. I would love to see her. She gets an honorable mention retroactive to last week for
Yes.
great female villains. I just hadn't thought about her in a while. See, this is what happens when you're not here. I don't remember people like Typhoid Mary.
I
would love to see her on the show. I definitely agree
It's
with that.
amazing.
Let's see. So, and just some other, obviously this isn't Marvel movie news. That's a different show that can be found over on Popcorn Talk. But there's some interesting movie news. The actor who plays Colossus, Stefan Kapicic, maybe? I don't know. He says that the X-Force movie might be R-rated, which seems to be what they're doing for everything that's adjacent to Deadpool. Rob Liefeld, the Deadpool creator, says that Deadpool 2 will beat Han Solo in the box office. I mean, I know he's probably right. I mean, people love Deadpool so much. What a great Colossus he was. Colossus was very underutilized in the X-Men movies, I felt. And even though he was in Deadpool basically just for comic relief, I thought that this was the right Colossus. So I hope we get to see him in Deadpool 2.
His sister's supposed to be coming up too.
Right. Which, teasing it forward a little bit, that's one of my favorite Marvel families is
The Rasputins.
the Rasputins. Peter and Ilyana Rasputin, who his sister is known as Magic. With a K.
With a K.
With a K. That's very important.
You know what I would love for a Deadpool 2?
What would you like, Tony
we
Be
get,
Dead?
if we get the signature fastball with Colossus and Deadpool, where Colossus tosses Deadpool into the air.
Yeah, we saw a fastball special in one of the X-Men
I was about
movies.
to say, did he do it with Wolverine? 'Cause
Yeah,
that's usually
Wolverine's
what he does
the one
it
who he
with.
usually did it with, but you'd like to see a fastball special with
Deadpool and just like throw him to a wall or something by accident. That'd be great.
That's not a very special fastball special. That seems like it would actually hurt a lot.
With Deadpool.
Yeah, but all right. Well, we know what Tony's into. Anthony's into. See, you're at Tony Be Dead, but we call you Anthony. It's
I have
very
a
confusing.
question. Yeah, I have a question for Tony Be Dead.
Oh, yeah.
It's spelled TonyBDED. Was Tony BDEAD taken?
That'd be just too real, man.
Yeah.
Well, my
sure.
question has been answered.
That's some bad luck there. Well, let's talk about the royal family of Inhumans, and the most recent episode, which I think we're at 6 now.
Yes.
So we've only got a couple
Got
more.
2 left, right?
And there's there was some good news that the ratings actually went up for the first time in the run of the Inhumans. So I've written it off that we're gonna get these 8 and then we're never gonna see them again. But I would like for them to tell more Inhuman stories. But the fact that people are watching, maybe people are just catching up on Hulu or something, or ABC.com. So I'd like to see that. But it was good because you're actually like getting them back together, and seeing that family reunite definitely works better than when you see the family reunite on The Gifted, because I kind of don't care about really any of them. So, look, I mean, you can take that however you want. This is a family. I'm like, yeah, but they're kind of cool. And,
I don't know. Crystal's being so dumb and like airhead, like so blank behind the eyes. I'm like,
that guy
it's
is
a
so
boy.
cool.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
I don't know what I'm feeling.
she'd never
How
felt
would my
anything
family
before.
know where I am? I'm just like, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
stop.
No
She-
human has ever touched me before.
That's true.
I know, right?
No
Like,
human ever
oh.
touched her.
Like,
But I mean, look, she is a princess. They're
Yeah.
not always known.
Medusa's better at it though.
Well,
She
but
was
Medusa's
that.
a queen.
Yeah.
That's
More
different.
practice, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
But I expect more from Crystal. I want.
But I don't know how much more you're going to get out of Crystal.
Probably
I
not
think
much.
we've seen, worried about Lockjaw,
Actually,
hanging out with boys.
I love Lois, like Louise.
Louise.
I
Yes.
love Louise and Mortis.
Yeah,
Well,
Mortis.
He's so funny and
I
random.
like that they gave him jokes, because when they first introduced him, I was like, no, that's not working for me. It's like a bad Rocketeer cosplay, that costume.
It's a weird one, but you know what though? That was a moment that I was just like, wait, that totally makes sense. Why on earth during Terrigenis they have everybody hanging out in the room when
Yeah.
anybody could have lethal powers suddenly happen and not know how to control them?
Yeah, I
it
mean,
seems
it's-
like the dumbest idea. Like
it's
they
not-
should be in a containment
It's not a
thing like
gender
Agents
reveal
of
party.
S.H.I.E.L.D.
This is,
Yeah.
there can be explosions in that room.
Like
That's-
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has
Yeah.
like the containment field. What, Inhumans are idiots
I thought
that
they
they didn't
were
think
like
of it?
inside of it when.
No, all the people are standing there. They step out of the thing
Terrigenis,
and they freak out. Like the girl got we got wings, and then we got like the.
well, they are just
premonitions.
moon people,
Yeah.
with
It was just one of those
Write
like,
'em off
wow,
as
that seems
just
so
simple
obvious.
people.
simple
Yeah.
moon people.
I don't want to.
He doesn't. Mortis
stuff.
doesn't look like the man in the Iron Mask to y'all. The way they have him
no,
locked up and the way
that's
he
actually
ran.
a great comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And
I just like
it's-
the sarcastic humor.
I got so Michael, you're not really blown away by Mortis, is what you're trying to say.
I watched last week. I don't know why you're so into him. Like, I'm just like, eh.
Look,
the character
a girl's gotta have a
reminds
type,
me.
okay?
I like
was-
sarcasm.
You know, the Orville, they have this little robot that's
Mm-hmm.
he cracks me up. Like, I think
So you
he's
like the
so
robot.
funny. So when they look kind of the same, so I'm like,
Oh.
no, I like that little robot guy better.
He killed Gordo.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like, so that's interesting. 'cause
No,
we've-
that was
somebody
just a
was freaking out.
stupid
That was
accident.
really stupid.
That it was the dumbest death.
Oh.
Like, yeah, if you
Yeah,
guys
and
have
if
watched-
you
it
remember
was
in the first
dumb.
episode, their brother, and I don't know, it's because they're a royal family. I don't know exactly how they're all related, but Triton died in the first episode. I've just expected him to come back ever since, and I'm like,
Me
oh, are they
too.
actually killing
Yeah.
all these people off?
I was
No, it's just he
wonder-
stomps his hoof, and you're like, really building?
Exactly.
That's it. Dumb.
And Mortis, I'm gonna kill everyone. I don't want to go back to captivity,
and-
so I'm gonna die.
And by the way, I'm definitely done with the Karnak's power doesn't work, because it's like
Oh,
it's
I'm
like
over it
enough
too.
already. You
it
know,
makes
I mean,
him stronger though.
take a nap, and you know, I
Get
mean,
the happy medium.
yeah, he got it on with that lady.
Yes,
and
you should
like
be
so he
feeling
should be
much better.
very
Yeah.
relaxed and recharged at this point.
It was like a really random storyline. I felt like.
Well,
I like
that he
this.
got a
It's a
little
good
something something.
storyline.
Was it just to make him like
Look,
relate
I mean,
with
only
the humans?
he'd only
or-
ever been on the moon, and sometimes you got to get some human strange. All right,
Crystal was doing it too, so you know these moon people can't
Yeah, that's
resist
true.
us Earthlings.
It made him more interesting to lose his powers
They're
because
hormones.
he was so powerful. He knew
Well,
every single move.
I mean,
that
that's
was gonna
obviously why
happen.
they did it. It was because he
Oh,
was
don't
just,
shoot me,
Couldn't
don't.
he have had sex with her 3 times and know how it was going to end up, and now you have to do it? Like,
Exactly right.
But then we get this great line when he was walking, and he's like, "Don't shoot me, don't shoot me, don't shoot
that.
me."
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Was that Aaron was like, oh, what's he doing? he obviously wants me to shoot him, and
Yeah.
that was actually very funny because then it cuts to
Yeah.
him saying, "Don't shoot me, don't shoot me."
The one thing I'm upset about now that Gorgon's gone, I was like interested to see how they might explore him and Louise knocking the boots. 'Cause
Yeah,
that,
Yeah,
I
he's
love
like,
that
"Hey, how's it
flirtation.
going?" Yeah.
And are they gonna just pair up
Kinda like-
Louise and Dave, who
those-
kissed Crystal, just because they're both humans? Like they ended up together in the
No,
barn. Well,
no.
I feel like we're not gonna see either of them ever again. So
I hope we see Louise. Like she's
I-
funny.
Yeah, she
well, I
was-
know she's funny,
Well, if
but
there's
And
another
she has
season,
good
we'll see
reason.
Louise.
she also has a good
Reasoning.
connection to get them
Yes.
to the moon. So,
Yeah.
which you just like none of you like. Well, first of all, Lockjaw should be able to take them to the moon. At some point. Sorry, there was some direction from in the booth. There's a lot of directing going on in here. So yeah, I don't know. I was thinking, I'm like, well, Gorgon shouldn't be dead, but I guess he might be.
He's a stupid
That's
death.
why I brought up Triton, because they're like, oh, he's still gone. I've been waiting like 6 weeks for him to come
I
back.
thought, yeah, if he went in the
Yeah.
ocean, he was gonna get recharged,
Yeah.
come right back. And I'm like, wait, they have no healers with them. They can't
That's
zip
what I
him
was-
back.
Exactly.
And like,
No type of futuristic machine that can
or
heal. the-
Terrigenesis people. Come on,
Yeah.
nobody's turned into a healer.
I
It's
mean,
just dumb.
they have, but they're probably all loyal to Maximus. So let's move on
she
to.
was like on another team,
Yeah.
lady that kept coming
Let's.
to play.
Yeah, no, she can't heal other people though.
Oh.
And she has a time limit on them too. I like that.
Well, let's
The
move-
doctor thinks that she does.
Let's move it along to
Yes.
Maximus, who tried to quell a little uprising that may not have actually been happening. That kid who can sort of see the future, really doesn't have a stranglehold on that power, and it just shows you what a tenuous connection Maximus has to the throne, that he relies entirely on this kid.
Yeah.
I feel like obviously, because this show is called The Inhumans and it's about King Black Bolt and Queen Medusa, I think his reign on the throne is probably in jeopardy. But Carrie, how do you think he handled the uprising? And he's the bad guy that you just don't like.
Oh, I'm ready for him to die. Him and Medusa and Black Bolt, like, we shouldn't kill him. No, he's been trying to constantly kill you. He's already
Yeah.
killed so many people in your group.
And-
It's a
and-
standard bad guy thing. We don't kill them. Guess what? They'll kill 50 more
Yeah.
plus.
I think they
And-
should just bring him to Earth and just drop him there and go back
Yeah.
to the moon. It's like,
No,
he doesn't
because
have
he's
any
gonna come back
powers.
and be a problem.
I think
Every bad
he's
guy, like, come on, how
determined,
many
yeah.
heroes they
Yeah.
leave the bad guy behind and then like they never come back?
I think
they
Black
come
Bolt
back.
just wants to cough in his face, just a little. That's all he really wants. He's got
Or
it
a
all figured
leg.
out.
Take a leg off.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, I guess if you cough directly on the leg.
I think he handled it, but just close-ups on his face and his yelling and screaming. I just
Well,
hate
see, look,
Maximus so
yeah,
much.
I mean, it's true.
He's just
that,
so whiny.
He's little too. I think
He's
Maximus
very
is a real
small.
misnomer.
Yes.
Yeah, well, it's like how you call a big guy tiny.
He's a child, and he's just so
Yeah.
he's just a brat.
I
Yeah.
think you have
Done.
a point though. Did he have a bigger plan than that than to use the boy after Terrigenesis?
Well,
he had to have like a
I don't think
plan
he.
before
I think
that.
he thought out phase one of his plan, and then didn't really think
Yeah.
about following it. Because I think he thought that everybody would be dead by now. He's like, I'm gonna kill my brother, and
It's gonna go
But now he wants to
smoothly.
save him. He wants
Well,
to
now he's like,
use
oh,
him.
I
No.
need him.
Well,
Well,
no,
no, he needs. He
what-
needs.
he needs
Yeah.
him
He
for-
doesn't.
Because,
he just needs a body.
Yeah.
Desmond from Lost told him that he
Yeah.
needed him to be alive. I don't know that doctor has a really dumb name, so I'm just gonna call him Desmond from Lost. But Michael, what did you think of how Maximus was able to try and hold on to the throne in this episode?
Inhumans is giving me everything I expected and everything I wanted. So it's all kind of playing out how I thought it would play out.
It's like a superhero royal family soap opera with lots of drama. It's kind of like the Real Housewives
Of Adelan.
Of Adelan, exactly.
Maybe next season on AfterBuzz, we'll have an after show for that.
That's what we should do. We should get the hosts of the Real Housewives show just to watch
To
this
cover
and
this.
just be like, tell us how it's similar. Erica, aka Jessica
hilarious.
Jones, what did you think of how Maximus is, basically putting all his chips in front of this boy who sort of sees the future but not really well?
I was all for Maximus in the beginning, but I think his plan is kind of just falling apart.
Yeah.
It wasn't really thought about. But I think it might have a good conclusion if it causes Black Bolt to change
Yeah.
and to do something different with the caste system and help the people who are not inhuman, that are just humans and do better by them, then maybe Maximus might still, I don't know. I mean, it still might be.
I think we're
a
starting
point
to
it.
see the allegations
Yeah.
that have been made that he's really not doing this for the people of Adelan. He's
No.
doing
No,
this for
I'm
himself.
not talking about
Yeah.
Maximus, his plan. I'm saying that maybe this can show Black Bolt that maybe I can be a better ruler, or
Yeah.
people are
Maybe.
gonna start revolting. I don't know. It's,
Yeah.
You
it's
don't
so
seem
not
very
going that way.
confident in Black Bolt.
Just like the
I mean,
lady.
he can't talk, so there's only
Maybe.
so much he can do.
Yeah.
Sign
Well,
Well,
language
and him
is
and Medusa
language.
is not exact. They're not seen totally eye to eye, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Though he has a better plan to kill his brother, so.
Maybe they should sit down with Dr.
They're not
Phil.
gonna
Maybe
kill
he could
him.
help mediate
Oh,
that.
no.
They're not gonna kill him.
They're not
No,
gonna
I
kill
don't
him.
think so.
Maximus,
He's
no.
our family, we
Yeah.
can-
No, I don't think
They're
they'll
gonna-
Oh,
kill
he
him
only
either.
killed 2 plus
gonna-
of ours.
They're gonna put him in a prison on the other side of the moon, and he'll like
Probably.
start digging out at the end of the
Or
Yeah.
leave him
episode.
on, or leave him on Earth, like you.
Yeah.
cause more
I can see
destruction.
that. Well,
I think that
He
that
doesn't
would
have any
be.
power.
That'd
I know
be
he
very.
did.
Dude, he's
doesn't
evil
want
and
anything.
conniving. He's gonna do something.
And he doesn't know anything about American culture. He didn't have any friends. He didn't have anything. He would just turn into a hobo.
No.
People just think he's crazy. He's
Really?
like, I lived on the moon. And
Come
you're
on,
like,
you're
"Yeah,
gonna
right."
underestimate him just like he says. Everybody underestimates
Yeah,
me.
that
is
Eh.
I don't know.
that is true.
Just whines. All he does.
Well, I guess we've got 2 more episodes of the Inhumans, and I'm excited to see where it all goes. And I'm wondering what's going to happen
Yeah.
in terms of more of them, more of the Inhumans. Like, if they don't make any more of them, will they show up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. at some point, or will
That
we
would
I
be
never?
would
cool.
think
I
so.
want
Yeah,
that
I feel like that's
crossover.
fairly likely to have that happen.
Like Luis, I could see her being
Oh,
on
yeah.
it.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah, Louis, that's a good point, Louis.
Medusa, how about her? She's
Well,
freaking
you know,
amazing.
I don't think she'd have time for like the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, she's a queen, and they're like,
But what if like Ghost Rider showed up
Cops.
on Adelan and needed her help? You know, with the flaming skull and everything. I know because you don't.
I don't
like
think
that
she'd have
Maybe.
time for that.
She's. It would just remind her how she doesn't have her hair anymore.
Yeah.
Yes.
Seeing the flaming skull.
Wait, it's gonna grow back, right? Her hair.
I thought it would be
I
growing
thought
back
it'd
already.
be grow. Me too.
Yeah.
It's
But
like
wait, how long
special
has
hair.
it
It's-
actually
It's
yeah.
only
been?
been like a week. Like the way that they
Okay.
talk
Yeah.
about it, you're like, oh, I just feel like I've been watching this for months.
Ever.
It's
But-
only been a week, seriously.
It's a week.
Yeah, I'm like, her
in
hair
their
should be like
timeline,
this
yeah.
long already. I'm like, oh yeah, it's only been a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we won't spend too much time on tonight's episode of The Gifted, and we'll sort of be light
Why
on the
not?
spoilers. Yeah. Well, let's start there. Michael, how are you feeling about The Gifted? It seems like a lot of groaning as we all watch it together. And my first question, most important question to you, though. Would you trust Amy Acker to save your life if you had a bullet inside of you?
No way, dude.
You're
Not
just
unless she
like,
had an EpiPen.
You're like, I'm just going to go ahead and bleed out. As I was watching that, I'm like, oh, I'm so glad that she's not trying to save Michael's life. And
Oh my gosh. Oh no, I wouldn't trust her as far as I could throw her.
I said this to the ladies last week. I don't think it was
Sorry.
actually on the show
Yeah.
because you weren't here, but because you hate her so much, now every time she talks, I'm like, ugh. I don't hate her like you do, but I'm just like, it's just this
No, she's
residual like
fine.
hatred you have
She's
for her.
gotten so much better though. You
That's
have
true.
to admit she's gotten much
Oh,
better.
I don't have to admit it. Well, Michael
Okay.
admit that
I'm-
she's
Can
gotten
you
better.
admit
I'm-
she's gotten better?
We wanted you to be here last episode because she
think-
was kicking butt.
Because she
last-
finally
yeah.
like
she actually did
stopped.
something.
She took the
Being
truck
naive.
by herself
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
whatever.
and she doesn't have any powers. She doesn't have the
No
safety net
powers.
like Andy, who can lean on his powers.
I mean, I've just come to accept. I'm just like gonna be like rolling my eyes at her all like series, but I've moved on. Now I'm just really annoyed about Polaris and Lauren Strucker. I feel like those actresses should have been switched.
But the actress who plays Lauren Strucker
you
like
seem to
looks
think
like
that
she's
she
six-
looks
she
like
looks
she could be
16.
too young, but I don't think that there's like really an age limit in this like mutant
She's
resistance.
supposed to be pregnant, too.
Like
It'd be a little more
she
awkward.
could be on Teen Mom. Have we not seen these like 14-year-olds?
I don't
Like,
think
I don't know.
so. I
Yeah,
don't
it
want
would
to
be
watch
awkward.
that.
Speaking
No.
of the baby,
So we've already come up with the Real Housewives of Adelan. So now we have Real Teen Mutant Mom. So you see, we have a lot of spin-off shows. We should probably
Please
pitch
no.
these
That
to
would-
Marvel.
Team Mom.
Look, I just
Mutant
want
Edition,
I just
yeah.
want to sell it and cash the check. I'm not going to actually watch these shows that I'm coming up with, but in terms of Polaris though, I'm kind of disappointed because last week it was cool. She used her powers
She
and it
was
was badass.
badass,
And
yeah.
then this really felt like an episode where they're saving money in the budget for next week because the trailer for next week, I'm like, there's a lot of cool shit that's going to happen
I don't
next
really
week.
look at shows like that. Like,
I
oh, they're
have to,
saving out on
because
this
I'm so disappointed,
special
and it's like it's all like mostly indoors.
Well, she
and you're
had
like,
the rebar throw, which
Yeah.
was pretty damn cool.
But that was like one thing, and it all
It
goes.
was.
It all goes right into a
Into
car.
one car.
In the-
I
in
thought it'd
the-
be more
I think
spread
it was
out.
to make a statement.
It goes into one car as part of the product placement for Ford. You know, there's a lot of product placement on the
Y'all
show,
are
by the way.
tough. She is pregnant and just got out of jail. Can y'all give her a break?
But there was like a drone
She's
over.
barely
She's
pregnant.
tired.
You're
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
whatever.
I'm like, she's
sure.
just starting.
Yeah.
I
But
don't know
she
if
can
that baby's
feel
gonna
it.
come to term though.
Oh, well, I hope that we have a
I
cute
don't
little
think
mutant baby.
I don't think she's gonna have that baby.
Well, I mean,
Something's gonna happen to her.
yeah, I think so.
Oh.
She did get kicked in the stomach and
I know,
all.
that's
So.
Yeah.
strong
She's
baby.
never had a baby in the comics, to my knowledge.
As
I don't
far as
really
I know.
see them introducing
Look,
a character
they're really deviating from
from a big-
everything in here.
a
Yeah.
big Marvel family. I don't see them introducing a brand new character. It's like if it hasn't already been in the timeline in some way.
Yeah, no, I mean it's a good point, but I feel like
An Eclipse, like, is he even have a Wikipedia page?
I don't think he does actually.
Like, I don't even
Yeah.
think he's actually like from the actual universe. I think he was made for this show, so I don't really see him lasting very long either. I
Oh
feel
my
like
God.
Havoc's gonna
Oh.
come at
Hey,
some point. And
We're
knock
on
him.
like episode 5 of this show, so Thunderbird has already outlasted his tenure in Uncanny X-Men when he died after 3 issues. Spoiler alert to 1975. So he's already doing much
Well,
better at this point.
Was that not Warpath? Warpath.
Is his brother,
Right.
who's in X-Force.
He's the one that lasted much longer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, sure.
I
But-
would. I'd be interested to see him come into the show too.
Probably no. They're saving him for X-Force, so we probably won't see him. Like they have characters that they're allowed to pull from for this, but I don't know. The one other thing I'll touch on before we start talking about families is they start to explain this July 15th incident, and we don't really see a lot of what happened, but we're starting to see the importance of it, and people on the show talk about 7/15, the way that people reference like 9/11. So
It
is-
blew up a little carousel.
well, that's all we know for sure.
I know.
And that's in, like
Probably
that's in the
more.
first minute of the show, so I feel like it's fine to mention that that's what happened. But yeah, as far as we know, it's like, okay, so something happened, it was bad, and
One person died.
the way
for
they talk
sure.
about it is like, well, we lost people on both sides, and yeah.
Real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. At Tony Be Dead.
I looked up Eclipse and he was created for the series.
Yeah, see, there
Thank
we
you.
go.
So-
Don't
Michael's
really
like,
see a baby
Canon.
coming, like a fake baby.
So they could
Fake
create
Fake
a
baby.
baby though. That's what I was asking last time when I was like, do they start just creating stuff for specific shows?
Yeah, I mean, I think look, they can do whatever they want with this story clearly
Basically.
because clearly the people who do the movies don't care about Polaris, which is disappointing. They barely care about Havok because we haven't seen much of him since First Class. But this is a great time to transition to some of the best Marvel families, and that's where I want to start with Cyclops and his brother Havok. And I forgot about their lesser-known third brother.
Vulcan.
Yeah, Vulcan. His name's I think Gabriel. You don't really get much out of him. They don't.
He's a bad guy.
Right. So I always like that dynamic. You on screen there. I guess it was in what was that one called? Age of Apocalypse. We see Havok show up, strangely looking the same as he did 20 years earlier. But we'll move on from that. And he's like, oh yeah, this is Scott. He's annoying. All right, I'm out. I liked the brother relationship of the two of them in comics, and we haven't seen it on the screen yet. But that's, to me, because they're both superheroes, and you have a few of these where they're both superpowered, and they stand out for me. I mentioned Colossus and Magic, who was his little sister, and his little sister who was like 4, and then they decided to make her a teenager so she could join the New Mutants. You're gonna have to Google how that happened.
Like, what?
You're gonna have to Google how she like disappeared, and an instant later came back, and she
Well,
had
they do
lived
that
15
with
years. Yeah.
Scott Summers, like granddaughter.
Well,
too.
and also his baby, who becomes Cable,
Yeah,
goes
I
into
feel
the
like
future.
they
There's
have-
a lot of like timeline.
I feel like that family, the Sommers family, is really the most like generational one. Like you can see throughout the comics. Like
Yeah, and you
all the way
run
from
into
Corsair
weird.
to Hope.
You run into weird alternate timeline stuff too, because
Mm-hmm.
there's Rachel Summers from the future of Scott and Jean, who she's
Phoenix,
also a Phoenix
yeah.
Force, and then Cable, their son, but it's super complicated, mostly because Cable is Scott's son with a clone of Jean Grey, Madeline Pryor, not the actual Jean Grey. So,
What?
yeah, believe me.
And she's back in the comics right now. I
Who,
think,
Maddie
right?
Pryor?
Yeah.
I
I think she's back and
Yeah.
like trying to.
yeah, we'll
I was reading about.
we'll
her
do
the
a
other
whole
day.
episode about what a piece of shit Cyclops is because he left his pregnant wife, who was a clone of his old girlfriend, so that he could go hang out with the real girlfriend when it turned out she was still alive. But we don't have time for that right
Did we
now.
talk about other
That's
people
so
that he's been
confusing.
with too? So
Oh, Cyclops?
He's a hoe.
He was with Colleen Wing, and you know.
what?
So,
I
yeah.
never knew that.
Yeah.
That was,
It-
was
yeah.
new to
He
me.
gets around apparently.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He does.
I thought she was gonna be with Iron Fist forever. The way she's like down for him.
No,
Like,
she ends up with Iron Fist in the comics.
Okay.
This is Don't worry.
I couldn't really imagine someone better for Cyclops than Emma Frost, though. I mean, like, I
The White
appreciate,
Queen.
yeah, I
Yeah.
appreciate his like tortured love with Jean, but that's not good for anybody. Like, and she, you know, and Jean kind of had like this like hatred so much. Like, they didn't get along at all. So I feel like it only makes sense.
Well, when they were
that,
like 15, they didn't get along. I think that she. I think once they were in their 20s, they started to get
I
along.
don't know. He's a pretty jealous dude for how much he gets
Well, I
around
thought
too.
she was
He's
good
like,
for
you're hanging
him."
out with Wolverine too much, girl.
Well, I mean, he's Wolverine, you know, and like it's like
know,
you just know how much cooler than you Wolverine
gets the
is.
ladies, yeah.
Yeah, and you're just like,
Yeah.
oh man. So anyway, that's and be sure to let us know. Comment in the chat or tweet at us. That's right.
Down below.
Down below. And
Because
let
if
us.
they're watching this later.
Yeah, if they're watching later, they can leave it right down there.
Do you have a favorite family?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna.
Yeah, well, I was not necessarily family, but a character I had to look up the name, and I'm probably gonna say it wrong and semi-spoiler because you're not there yet. Agents of Shield. When we find out Daisy's family, those real information, I thought that was a really great reveal. That was built up for so long because you just are like, who's this? And then I think it's Xialing.
I forget how they said
It's
it
like
on the show. But,
yeah,
it's spelled like Jiang, but that's
Yeah,
not
something
how
like
they
that.
said it. Yeah.
and it's I'm not sure how to say her name. It's like the actress is also in from Dollhouse, and I thought she was really a very interesting looking actress. So I thought that was super cool to have her be Daisy's mom and where they go with that.
Yeah, no, and her dad was Agent Cooper from Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
So you know,
And
it's
like their storyline was great too, and just where they take it is, it was rewarding for how long it took to get there.
it took a long time.
Yeah.
Because I think when the show started, they had no idea
Yeah,
that she was
which is
Daisy
fine.
because she was just Sky, and
Yeah.
then they were like, let's make her more interesting. And her story is actually very interesting, except for when she was like goth emo.
Yeah, we'll pretend
Daisy
that
on
phase
the
didn't
run.
happen. Yeah.
But yeah, Michael, do you have a favorite
I
Marvel
do.
family?
I think that Magneto's whole family, all the way from Emma Frost, Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch,
Yeah.
Wiccan. Like I really like that family.
Yeah, and,
Polaris. Yeah.
Quicksilver and the Scarlet Witch stand out for me because you know they were bad. They were Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. They both end up on the Avengers.
But that whole family, I don't feel like there's a lot of moral ambiguity
Yeah.
in that family. Like they're not all good and they're not all bad.
Yeah.
Like
No,
begin with.
definitely. I think the extended Magneto family is definitely one, and you know,
Fierce.
Yeah.
Fierce family. Like you wouldn't want to like upset them at the dinner party.
No, absolutely not.
I got my bro back. Okay, I'm good.
Wouldn't want to go to that family dinner.
Erica, whether it be from the movies or anything, who are families that you like? I mean, in the Avengers movies, we do see Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. There's not a lot in the movies
Yeah,
that we've
just
seen.
you sending out the email, I started looking them up and my
Yeah.
mind was blown. I'm like, all these families. But I just want to say the most frustrating family. Luke Cage and Willis Stryker.
Yeah.
I don't understand why he was so mad at him just because his dad didn't like him. He wanted
I mean-
to kill him just because his dad. I don't understand
I think
that.
something like that gets so ingrained in you when you're a kid
I
that you
don't
carry it through to
understand
adulthood.
that. Through the
But-
whole series, I didn't understand why he
Yeah.
was so mad at him just because of that.
No, I mean, look, it's
You want to kill him?
Well, clearly, you know, and
Cain and Abel.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
exactly.
Because he's the I don't know.
Actually,
That
another
was
dysfunctional
frustrating to
one.
me.
I was gonna say Mystique and Nightcrawler.
Yeah, that's you
It's a
know,
weird one.
it is a
Well,
weird
it's
one.
not a
Well,
regular
and
family,
then-
but we're
And then Rogue is sort of Mystique's
Yeah, I
adopted
don't really
daughter.
understand.
So it's
Yeah.
and Yeah, that's true though. That's
Families are complicated.
Yeah, that's another one of those things where I think like Mystique and Nightcrawler, they never planned for them to be family, but then at some point they're like, well, they are both blue, so we should probably.
No, that's not true. They didn't. Just
No, I mean I don't actually know that. That's just what I thought reading it.
That would be
he's
a lazy
he's
reason.
blue and fuzzy, and she has blue skin. But yeah, that's a good one. One that ties back to something that I said last week is Captain Britain and Psylocke. They're twins, and yeah, she looks just like him as an Asian lady, but she used to be British. A favorite of Michael's is Ghost Rider. The Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider has a lot of motivation by his little brother Gabe, and we see that in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh my god, I didn't like his brother
didn't like
in
his
the
brother,
show.
like, at all.
I was like, oh my god, put him in that thing, that containment thing, and send him away. He's ruining it.
If we can name any non-superpower people, I love the Meachums because they have each other's back.
You're the only one who likes the Meachums.
No.
I
as
love
much as
their relationship,
as
not as like the separate characters, but their relationship as a family.
To their dad?
No, not with the dad.
Okay,
just
so the brother and sister.
Yeah, Joy and the other one.
Harold was the dad.
Yeah.
I'm having a brain block. What? Which characters?
This is an Iron Fist?
On Iron Fist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, who
I
am
know
I talking
everyone
about?
gets
Yeah.
Iron
Yes.
Fist. Well, actually,
No, I
like
Danny a lot. I like the
them.
show.
Yes.
They're my least favorite part of the show. At least Ward got more
Ward?
interesting.
Oh.
When Ward became a drug addict, it was a lot more interesting. As opposed to Ward on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., who's one of my all-time least favorite characters. I'm so
he
glad
was
he's
annoying
dead.
too.
I don't know why
Ward's on
they keep
Agents of
pulling him
S.H.I.E.L.D.?
back.
That's a different word.
Different word,
Yeah, different word. It's the
But the
same.
same character?
Same name. No.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, technically he does kind of come back.
Why would you tell me that? Now I can't watch it. I just have to.
Sort of. It's a sort of.
I'm so far away from you.
Yeah, I
Don't
know.
worry, you're gonna
You'll
forget that by the time you
by
get
the time.
there.
I don't want to run out of
Yeah.
time, so let me just mention honorable mention, non-superpowered family. For me, absolute favorite, Aunt May. Nobody tops
Yeah.
her. There's no parental figure anywhere in the Marvel Universe I like as much as Aunt May.
Michael.
And I'm talking about old lady Aunt May. I'm not
Do
talking...
you not like young lady?
No, it's fine.
You
but
don't
this
like
is the
Sally
one-
Field,
Sally
Aunt May?
Field was fine, and Marissa Tomei is also fine. But for me, yeah, the Tobey Maguire Aunt May, who looked like the comic book and the cartoon old lady
Yeah.
Aunt May, that's Aunt May to me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
The words of wisdom.
Yeah, I just feel like it was so important, except for the moment when they decided on her deathbed she would tell Peter that she always knew he was Spider-Man, because she didn't. The whole point of Aunt May is that she's just like, all right, make sure you wear a jacket, Peter.
That
you know?
tells you they always know a little more than they're letting on.
Oh, she had to know.
I believe
Come
it,
on.
yeah.
She
It
had
was
to
a
know.
nice way to change it up, though, to make her a young character
Oh no, that's
instead.
fine. Yeah, because it would be super creepy if Tony Stark was flirting with old Aunt May.
That'd be.
Yeah.
No.
No.
We don't want to be ageist. He can have a thing for older ladies.
I mean, he could, but then
I don't know what that fan reaction would be to that.
What about Pepper? You know, he can't be flirting.
He is open to multiple options.
I think I'm gonna cram a few in here. We can't ignore Thor and Loki.
Yeah.
You know, that's an
a
important
famous sibling.
family,
Yeah.
and we're about to see them in Thor Ragnarok. No,
Yeah.
they're not a sponsor, but I'm very excited about that.
That looks good, yeah.
More
Yeah.
excited than some other superhero movie that's going to come out later in December, in
Also,
November.
a quick honorable mention: Jeff Goldblum's character and also Benicio del Toro's character, the Collector. They're both brothers.
Oh, I didn't realize that,
Yeah,
actually.
so the-
Wow.
Spoiler.
I don't know Benicio del Toro.
Is that
was
going to
in
be
there.
revealed in the movie?
Yeah, did you just ruin
no.
the movie? Because
No,
that's not
I
going to
mean-
ruin it. You're like, no, I didn't. I swear.
In a weird way, I almost go, they look alike enough in
Yeah.
my head. I'm like, sure.
I didn't know he was even in the film, so I think you ruined
There's
it.
photos of him. I've seen photos of
Okay,
Jeff.
I
Goldblum.
didn't
And
have
because
eyeliner.
there's so little love for the Fantastic Four these days, I wanted
That's
to
a
point
good
out
family, too.
Sue Storm, Johnny Storm,
Yep.
and then Reed Richards marries Sue Storm, and then they have Franklin Richards, who's a kid,
Yep.
and so everybody's part of the same family except for Ben Grimm, the Thing. But
Yeah.
he's like a brother, but no, he's not really part of the
Well, in the
family.
new Fantastic Four, Sue and Johnny.
They're like adopted.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I
no,
saw
know.
that trailer, I'm like,
Oh,
they kind of
yeah.
have to be adopted.
But that was the
'cause
worst
I'm
one.
like,
People hated that.
That was not.
was
That was
weird.
not good. No,
was weird.
I know, and it's.
People are like, we'll
It
pretend
makes-
that didn't exist.
It makes me sad that people feel that way about the Fantastic Four, because I always liked those characters as a kid, and Human Torch, Chris Evans, come on, you know,
He was good as a
yeah,
Torch. He was
but
fun.
not so much in the new ones.
Good.
Anyway, so let us know your favorite families in the Marvel Universe, whether it's the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the TV universe. I was glad to hear you mention the Meachums, because I don't feel particularly strongly about them, but I was so glad it just came from nowhere. Yeah.
Sort of.
Sort of.
Yeah, sort of.
The whole thing is just, it's a lot of sort of. Yeah. Anyway, let us know, and we will take a look at your comments and maybe mention some of those honorable mentions in a future episode. But those, we kind of ran through those, but there were so many that I didn't want to leave out. Oh, like Aurora and North Star from Alpha Flight, mostly because I wanted to go with the most obscure brother-sister combination. North Star, first openly gay mutant in the Marvel Universe. So, just little tidbits that I want to share just to prove that I know a thing or two. But, I see them there on my list. But
And maybe
anyway.
we'll get an Aurora or a Rory.
Yes,
Aurora,
a Rory.
In the Gifted and
Rory Borealis.
Yeah, expand the Gifted
Which
family.
they didn't even go into how Alice could be part of that name too. Rory Aurora Borealis. But yeah, I feel like the
I
Gifted
don't know
is,
about that, baby.
I feel like the Gifted is a chore for you to watch, Michael. But if you love the Gifted, make sure that you watch the Gifted After Show on AfterBuzz TV, and there is a show for the Inhumans as well. I assume they're going to do one for the Punisher, which is like only 2 weeks away, and I really have to start planning.
excited.
I have to really start planning my schedule for that weekend. But anyway, so let us know and what you think about any and all of this, and we will see you next week. For me, Spider-Man, Christian Black, at Christian DMZ, and Rogue.
Yes, you can find me online at Carrie Dlane, Karidlane, and early happy Halloween.
Yes, early happy Halloween, Michael.
And I'm Michael Shirley. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at MichaelXShirley. And on Thursday nights, you can catch me on Project Runway here at AfterBuzz for all you fashionistas.
Will you be wearing the hat on that as well?
I dress a little different
Oh,
for Project
interesting.
Runway.
Jessica Jones, Erica J.
Jessica Jones, you can find me as Erica J. Green on all social media.
All right, thanks so much, everybody, and we will see you next Monday at 7 Pacific. Excelsior!
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz
you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.